My name is, well, let's just say my name is Alex. It's not, but for this story, it is. Privacy, you know. After what happened, I'm all about privacy. I was like a lot of you, probably, trying to make ends meet. Rent's a beast, groceries cost more than a weekend getaway used to, and my regular paycheck. It was doing its best, but its best wasn't cutting it. So I signed up for Go for Go. I hit accept. The app immediately updated. Proceed to Industrial Zone West. Await package. Further instructions will be provided via secure channel. Secure channel? What was this, a spy movie? I told myself it was probably just some rich eccentric, or maybe a business needing urgent, discreet delivery of documents or something. Yeah, that had to be it. The things you tell yourself, right? Industrial Zone West was exactly as charming as it sounds. Block after block of dark, silent warehouses, broken chain-link fences, weeds growing through cracked concrete. Streetlights were mostly busted or flickering like strobes in a haunted house. My little hatchback felt very small and very out of place. The GPS on the Go for Go app, still looking all dark and moody, led me down a narrow access road between two massive, windowless buildings. It felt like driving into a canyon made of rust and shadows. Finally, it just said, "You have arrived at the pickup location. Await contact." So I waited, engine off, just the sound of my own breathing and the occasional gust of wind whistling through a broken window somewhere nearby. Minutes stretched into an eternity. 10 minutes, 20. I was starting to think it was a prank, or maybe I got the wrong spot. I checked the app, still the same message. I was about to message Go for Go support, even though I had a feeling they wouldn't know anything about this weird, shadow version of their app, when my phone buzzed again. Same low thrum. A new message popped up, not in the usual Go for Go chat, but in a separate, encrypted-looking window within the app. Black sedan, no plates, approaching your rear. Do not exit vehicle until instructed. My blood went cold. I looked in my rearview mirror. Sure enough, a pair of headlights cut through the darkness, slowly, silently rolling up behind me. It was a big black car, the kind government spooks drive in movies. Tinted windows so I couldn't see inside. It stopped about 20 feet back. No one got out. My heart was doing a drum solo against my ribs. This wasn't documents. This wasn't some rich guy's weird hobby. This felt wrong, deeply wrong. The $500 suddenly seemed a lot less appealing. Another buzz, passenger door will open. Package will be placed on your seat. Do not make eye contact. Once package is secure, door will close. Await next instruction. You've seen the ads, be your own boss, earn on your schedule. All that shiny, happy gig economy talk. Mostly it was delivering takeout. Pad thai to penthouse apartments, greasy burgers to dorm rooms, sometimes groceries. I just sat there, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white. The passenger door of the sedan behind me creaked open. A figure emerged, just a silhouette in the darkness. Tall, dressed in dark clothes. They walked towards my car. I kept my eyes fixed on my rearview mirror, then forced myself to look straight ahead, like the message said. I could hear their footsteps on the gravel, heavy, deliberate. My passenger door clicked open. I flinched. I could feel the cold night air on my cheek. A hand, gloved in black leather, reached in and placed a small, surprisingly heavy, rectangular box on the passenger seat. It was wrapped in plain brown paper, no markings. Then, as silently as it opened, my door clicked shut. The figure retreated to the black sedan. The sedan's engine, which I hadn't even realized was off, rumbled to life, and it backed away, disappearing into the darkness the way it came. I sat there for a full minute, just trying to get my breathing under control. My hands were shaking. What was in the box? Drugs, money, a severed hand. My imagination was running wild. Buzz, new message. Package secured. Proceed to rural route 7, mile marker 19. Maintain speed limit. Do not stop. Do not open package. You are being monitored. Monitored? How? Was there a tracker on my car? In the box, my paranoia kicked into overdrive. I wanted to throw the box out the window and peel out of there. Forget the 500. Forget everything. But you are being monitored, echoed in my head. What if they came after me? These didn't seem like people who took kindly to changes in plans. So I did what they said. I started my car, the little engine sounding pathetically tinny after the silent power of the sedan, and pulled out of the industrial park. My GPS, still in its dark mode, guided me. Out of the city onto the highway, then onto smaller, darker country roads, the kind where the trees lean over the asphalt like skeletal fingers. Once a single very expensive bottle of artisanal kombucha to a yoga studio. The pay was okay, enough to plug a few holes in the sinking ship of my finances, you know. You drive around, listen to podcasts, deal with the occasional rude customer, or a restaurant that's running an hour behind. Standard stuff. Rural Route 7 was a lonely stretch of two-lane blacktop. No houses, no businesses, just woods and the occasional reflective sign. The app counted down the miles. Approaching drop-off location. My stomach twisted itself into a knot. Mile marker 19. It was just a small, green sign on the side of the road, half hidden by overgrown weeds. There was nothing else there. No driveway, no building, nothing. Just dense, dark woods on either side of the road. The app buzzed, pull over to the right shoulder, turn off engine and headlights, place package on the hood of your car, exit vehicle, walk 20 paces directly in front of your car and turn around, await further instructions, do not deviate. This was it, this was the part where the bad guys in the movie show up. I could barely breathe. My hands were slick with sweat. I pulled over, the tires crunching on the gravel shoulder. Engine off, headlights off. Plunged into near total darkness, with only the faint glow of the moon filtering through the trees. I picked up the box. It was heavier than it looked, cold to the touch. I got out of the car, my legs feeling like jelly, placed the box on the hood. Then, like a robot, I walked 20 paces into the darkness in front of my car. The gravel crunched under my shoes. It was so quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that presses in on you. I turned around. My car was a dark shape, the box a slightly darker lump on its hood, and I waited. What felt like an hour, but was probably only 5 minutes, crawled by. Every rustle in the leaves, every snap of a twig in the woods made me jump. I kept expecting someone or something to emerge from the trees. Then the app on my phone, which I was still clutching like a lifeline, lit up. No buzz this time, just a new screen. It wasn't text. It was an image, a grainy night vision-style photo of me standing there in front of my car, taken from the woods across the road. My blood turned to ice. They were watching me right now. Then below the image, a single line of text appeared. The package is your payment. The contents are your instructions. Your target is already in position. Retrieve your Go4Go device from the package. It has been upgraded. But then there was this one night. It was a Tuesday, I think. Dead. Absolutely dead. I'd been circling the usual hotspots for 2 hours and zilch. Nada. My gas tank was looking sad, my stomach was rumbling, and the rent was due in 3 days. Target? What target? Payment. I thought the 500 was the payment. My mind was reeling. I looked at the box on the hood of my car. Slowly, hesitantly, I walked back towards it. My heart was hammering so hard I could feel it in my ears. I reached the car. My hands trembled as I picked up the box. The brown paper felt rough. I fumbled with it, tearing it open. Inside wasn't money, it wasn't drugs, it was another phone, a Go4Go phone, one of those cheap, rugged ones they sometimes give to new drivers. But this one felt different, heavier, and attached to the back of it, with what looked like heavy-duty Velcro, was a small, metallic device I didn't recognize. It had a lens. I picked up the phone, it vibrated in my hand and the screen flickered to life. It wasn't the Go4Go app, it was something else, a map, a schematic of the woods around me. And on the map there was a blinking red dot, about 200 yards into the trees on my side of the road, and a blue dot labeled U. Then text appeared above the map, target identified, proceed to engage, NON lethal SUBDUAL preferred, bonus 4 live capture, failure is not an option. Target, subdual, live capture, what in the absolute hell was going on? This wasn't a delivery. This was, I didn't know what this was, some kind of twisted game, a manhunt. Then I saw the device on the back of the phone, the lens. I fumbled with the phone, trying to find an app, a button, anything. I tapped the screen and the view changed. It was a camera feed, but not a normal one. It was thermal. The woods, which had been pitch black to my eyes, were now a landscape of ghostly blues and grays. And there, glowing with a faint warmth, was the red dot from the map. A human-shaped heat signature, crouching behind a tree. My stomach dropped, the world tilted. This app, this job, it wasn't about delivering a package to someone. The package was the instruction, and I wasn't a delivery driver anymore. They had turned me into a hunter. And the $500, that was in my GoForGo account. It had been deposited the moment I picked up the package. Blood money. That specific kind of anxiety, the one that sits heavy in your chest and makes it hard to breathe. Yeah, that was my co-pilot. I was about to call it a night, chalk it up to bad luck when my phone buzzed. Not the usual cheerful GoForGo jingle, though. This was different. A lower, sort of thrumming notification. I almost missed it. Panic, raw and undiluted, surged through me. I looked around wildly. The woods, the dark road, I was alone, but not alone. Someone was out there, my target. And someone else was watching me, someone who had given me a thermal imaging device and instructions to engage. I dropped the phone. It clattered onto the gravel. I didn't care about the bonus, about non-lethal subdual. I scrambled into my car, fumbled with the keys, jammed them into the ignition. The engine roared to life, way too loud in the silence. I slammed it into drive, tires spinning on the gravel, and tore out of there, back down rural Route 7, leaving the upgraded GoForGo phone and its sinister instructions lying in the dirt. I didn't slow down. I drove like a maniac, expecting headlights to appear behind me at any second, or for the road to be blocked. My eyes kept darting to the woods, expecting to see something. When I got back to the city, the sun was starting to hint at the horizon. The city looked normal. People were starting their days, but nothing felt normal to me anymore. I drove straight home, locked my door, and didn't come out for 2 days. I deleted the GoForGo app. It factory reset my phone. I even thought about getting rid of my car. The $500 was still in my account. I haven't touched it. I don't think I ever will. It feels cursed. Who was my target? Another gig worker, maybe. Someone else lured out there with the promise of easy money. Or was I the target all along? Were they testing me? Was it some kind of sick recruitment? Or maybe the target was another hunter, and it was a free-for-all. The app said target is already in position. That person out there in the woods, with the thermal camera pointed at them, were they as clueless and terrified as I was? Or were they a willing participant in whatever twisted game this was? I started looking online, digging into the dark corners of the internet, searching for gigworker scaryapp, darkwebtasks, GoForGo sinister jobs. Most of it was just creepypasta, urban legends, but then I found a few forum posts buried deep, vague, coded language. People talking about special assignments through gig apps, about high-value deliveries to remote locations, about tasks that weren't what they seemed. None of them gave details like mine, but there was a thread of something similar, a sense of unease, of being manipulated by the algorithms that were supposed to be helping us make a living. I never reported it to the police. What would I say? That a food delivery app asked me to hunt someone in the woods. They'd think I was crazy. And who would I report it to at GoForGo? The regular support line. Hi, yeah, your app turned into a predatory manhunt interface last night. Can you look into that? I had a feeling the version of the app I'd used wasn't exactly official. The app opened, but it looked glitchy. The colors were a bit off, darker, and the job offer, it wasn't a food delivery. It wasn't a grocery run. The pickup location was just listed as Industrial Zone West. No restaurant name, no store. Sometimes I still get phantom buzzes from my phone, that low thrumming notification. I'll wake up in a cold sweat, thinking I hear footsteps outside my window. Every time I see a GoForGo driver now, or any gig worker, I look at them and wonder, are they just delivering pizza? Or are they on their way to Industrial Zone West, about to get a package that will change their life forever? This gig economy, man, it's built on desperation. We're all out there, hustling, trying to scrape by. And maybe there are people who know that. People who see that desperation as an opportunity, a way to get ordinary folks like you and me to do things we'd never imagine, to push us step by step from delivering food to delivering something else entirely. Until one day you look at your app and it's not asking you to pick up a customer, it's telling you there's a target. Think about that next time your phone buzzes. Think about what that algorithm really wants from you. Because I'm telling you, that app on your phone, it might know more about you than you think. And it might just have a job for you that you won't find advertised on their sunny, happy website. A job that pays really, really well, if you're willing to cross a line you didn't even know existed. I don't know who these people are or what their ultimate goal is. Is it entertainment for some sick billionaire? a training ground, some kind of social experiment. I try not to think about it too much because when I do, the world feels like it's made of thin ice and I'm about to fall through. The image of that thermal figure glowing faintly in the darkness of the woods is burned into my brain. Were they a victim, or were they part of it? What if I had picked up that upgraded Go-for-Go device? What if I had walked into those woods? Would I have become the hunter, or would the roles have suddenly reversed? The app said non-lethal subdual preferred. Preferred, meaning lethal was also on the table. What kind of choice is that? I still have nightmares. In the dreams, I'm in the woods and the thermal phone is in my hand. But when I look at the screen, the red dot isn't out there in the trees. It's me, I'm the target, and I can hear the crunch of leaves behind me getting closer. So yeah, be your own boss, earn on your schedule, or maybe, just maybe, become an unwitting pawn in a game so dark you can't even see the players. That app, that lifeline for so many of us just trying to get by, it felt like it had been hijacked, turned into a weapon. Or maybe the dark side was always there, lurking beneath the user-friendly interface, just waiting for the right conditions, the right level of desperation to reveal itself. I changed my number, I moved apartments, I don't do gig work anymore, I'd rather starve, because every time I see someone staring intently at their phone, waiting for that next ping, that next job, a part of me shivers. What if it's not a burrito they're waiting for? What if their app about to assign them a target, not a customer? Be careful out there, seriously. That little glowing screen in your hand holds a lot more power than you think, and not all of it is good, not by a long shot. I learned that the hard way on rural Route 7, mile marker 19, with a box on my hood and a choice I never wanted to make. The economic anxiety that pushed me to take that job, it was nothing compared to the primal fear that chased me home. And that fear is a gig that never ends.